is Rex with a brand new episode for a brand new year. And speaking of new, this week we go into the brand new shape of Petanque Boules. Yes, not square or cubed, but oval. We had the pleasure of the company of two board members of the Sactown Petanque Club USA. After playing around the traps in the eastern states of Australia, they're not bored anymore. So stay tuned and listen to Michelle and Christoph talk of their experiences. And we take a peek at a Petanque tournament being played in its most natural ways. A great episode full of fun, facts, interesting insights, and not quite long enough for Tim to have a time to fall asleep. How would you like to play rugby with the ball made of metal? No? Well, what about playing petanque with the balls made from leather? Not that either? Well, somewhere in between, there is now a version of petanque being played by metal balls in the shape of a rugby ball, in the petanque size, of course. I stumbled across this incredible site when checking out what make and model boule Cindy Perrault uses. Checking that the date wasn't April 1, and so intrigued was I that I quickly dashed off an email, in my best schoolboy French, to the manufacturer seeking more information. This is what I received back, translated in my best schoolboy English, from Michelle Data of the Italian manufacturer Boule. It is a new discipline which was born in Marseille, that's how they spelt it. The oval ball, created by the former director of the Siet auction. The Siet fish auction is an emblematic site in the town of Siet. It is thrown like a petanque boule or Lyon boule, but it does not go straight. My normal round ones don't go straight now. Jose Linares and the Friends First Association organised the second tournament in Siet with nearly 250 participants. Many players come from the districts of Siet. The discipline, like square boules, is aimed at everyone. A game is played to 15 points and a ball weighs 690 grams. The objective is to get as close to the olivet, the coche. Easier said than done. The oval boule was born from the observation of the small egg-shaped corks found on longline nets and from a desire to bring together two worlds, that of boules and rugby. The Friends First Association, which is also part of a charitable association, is sponsored by former rugby player Julian Thomas. Barely out of their packaging at the edge of the petanque court, they are already arousing great curiosity. Oval boules have a future. With their particular rugby ball shape, they will perhaps create different ways of pointing and shooting. Really? Everyone is enthusiastic, says Jose. I had the idea 3 years ago while attending a rugby match for the first time in my life. I love the effect this oval ball had on the game. The official launch of the first oval boule tournaments took place in Montpellier and Toulouse, both rugby cities. We must make the oval ball known at the national and international level, he said. His mischievous eyes shine at the idea, and he already dreams of creating the FIBO, French Boule Fédération Ovale. It's a joke, but it's nice. Petanque players often ask me when they'll be able to play. The Les Copains de Board Association plan to organise tournaments to raise funds for different charity causes. Things are falling into place. Boule, an Italian company, made the boules. Unlike petanque boules, they are full or solid, and for the moment made of aluminium. It was complicated to have them made. The rules differ a little from traditional petanque. You always have to get as close as possible to the goal, the olivet. The oval ball game is played to 15 points, and the players can shoot from anywhere they want to, along a line. On the occasion of the Rugby World Cup, the agri-food giant Andros asked Jose Linares to introduce the strange sport to World Cup spectators at the next meeting in the Old Port. You may know of square boules, a surprising variation of petanque designed for playing on hilly grounds. But now there is another alternative to the traditional boules, oval boules. Jose moved heaven and earth to find a manufacturer cheeky enough to make these rugby ball-shaped boules. It was a bit of a journey, he said. I had a hard time finding someone. The balls are made by the Italian company Boule, one of the most prominent Petanque boule manufacturers in Europe. The Italian company readily agreed to embark on this adventure and offered the opportunity to design the balls in cupro aluminium and to make them full, solid, explains yet inventor, because all Petanque boules are normally hollow. The oval ball was born. An oval ball world championship should see the light of day soon. And that was from Michel Data of Boule. The boules range, I checked it out, the boules range in price from €189 for the Blanc version and €230 for the black. I'll be talking to the Petanque Federation of Australia to see if they don't mind me setting up the Oval Boule Federation of Oz. Oh, by the way, Cindy uses Boule-made boules. The model is Continental and they're priced at €145, which is Boule's cheapest boule. Our next item is an interview with Michelle Dang and Christoph Sarafian of the Sactown Petanque Club in Sacramento, California, USA. They're doing a Down Under tour, visiting clubs in Sydney, Victoria and New Zealand. Michelle is the club secretary, Christoph is the president. They have some interesting insights on clubs here in comparison to those in the States and lots more. Michelle, could you tell us a little bit about your club?
Okay. Well, actually, Christoph is the president of the club, and I'm the secretary.
Yep. How long has the club been in existence?
That's actually a good story. So we knew about Petanque for many years because Christoph is from France originally, came to the U.S. as a young boy, and his father, who passed away now, was an avid Petanque player in the Bay Area near San Francisco in the club there. So when we were younger, we would just visit him. You know, we weren't serious about the game, but he would play every weekend. And then when his mother passed away, we moved his father to Sacramento to be near us, in Folsom actually.
Sure.
And we needed to find a Petanque club because that was his hobby. And we found actually a club in Sacramento called Club Petanque de Sacramento. So it's sort of a hybrid of a French social club with Petanque involved in it. And so we discovered the club, took him on the weekends, to keep him happy. And then we got involved with him that way. But how Sactown came about was we discovered there was a group of actually people who are monks, who are extremely good at this sport. And we noticed they were always sort of on the side playing, and the French would socialize, on one side of the court.
Yep.
But then we realized we wanted to meet them, learn how to play better, and they actually taught us a lot. They were very serious about the game. They were very competitive. And a few years later, we formed Sactown Petanque because Club Francais wasn't really focused on Petanque. It was more of the French cultural aspect of it.
Yep.
And so that's how the club really came out. There wasn't really a club in Sacramento that was focused purely on the sport.
Sure. And how many members would you have now, Michelle?
We have close to 30. So we're a very small club. In America, it's a big country. The sport is not clearly as big as in France. But we have in California, I don't know, combined, we have nearby clubs that have a lot more members. We play at each other's clubs a lot.
Here in Victoria, you can compete in competitions with other clubs somewhere in Victoria about every second Sunday at the very least. I see on your website that you've got 6 competitions coming up, but they're FPUSA competitions, so I take it your local competitions are separate to that as well.
Yeah, so we have small clubs like what you have sometimes, like, fun melees if the weather permits, and we usually plan those, 2 weeks before to see the interest. But we typically do FPUSA sponsored regionals. Last year we did World Qualifiers and Nationals. We do have different areas in America. We do have opens. Those tend to be bigger. Like Sonoma has a big open coming up in April called the Wine Country Open, where they will take up to 60 teams. So most of us would go there to compete.
Yep.
Portland up north, they have an open every year. So these opens tend to be on the same weekend every year, so we know and we go and we compete with them.
Right.
So we try to do FPUSA because, it's easier for us and it allows our members to participate. So they don't have to travel as much.
Sure.
Which incurs a lot of cost, as you know.
Yep. Just looking at your website and your club, the facilities you have there look fantastic, particularly with all those trees around, which can give you shade in the summer, but open light in the winter. So was that one made specifically for you, or did you take that over from the French club?
Yeah, so the French club actually, from my understanding, they planted those trees decades ago. The courts actually are owned by the Parks and Rec, but they allow us to use the space. We maintain the space, so a lot of the members of Club Francais are quite old now, so physically it's harder for them. But they've been, to their credit, they've been the ones that maintain the course for many years. So now we are sort of taking over. So we're doing the raking of the leaves, the stringing, the court maintenance most of the time for the competition. So it's a combined effort, but definitely the trees are a definite plus, yes. But we don't have a beautiful clubhouse like you. I mean, like I mentioned to some of your members, in the States, we don't have anything like that. So it's really just, if we're lucky, we have a shed where you put stuff.
Sure.
Some clubs don't even have sheds. They bring their stuff every time they have a tournament, and they set it up. They actually have to create courts. They put the wood planks down, string it every time they have a tournament.
Goodness gracious.
So it's a lot of work.
Also, you mentioned then about the club that you played at on Saturday, which was the Camberwell Petanque Club, and the average age is 73. What would be the average age of your club?
I would have to say probably 50. Would you say, Christoph?
Mid-40s. I would tell you mid-40s. The youngest player is 12 years old.
Wow.
10, actually.
10, sorry. And the oldest player would probably be
70.
Yeah, close to 70.
Yep.
One thing that we do have, Rex, that we are very proud of, so to speak, for courts, anyone that comes and plays in courts is always curious about the actual piece, how the pieces feel, right?
Yep.
We have 7 different textures at our court.
Right.
And so you cannot come to our courts and just expect to roll. That you cannot do that.
Yep.
We have a lot of rocks where you have to do portés, plombés, where you have to shoot, shoot the ball au fer. We're very proud of that in the sense that the courts have changed over the years and we've made those changes.
Fantastic.
But we're far from the welcoming and safety aspect of your courts here as far as having bars and places where there's food, things of that nature.
Sure.
Very, very few places in the U.S. have those facilities. Very few.
I don't think we have any in the U.S. that's like that. I mean, I haven't been to every club. We've been to many clubs, but I don't think that is any club that has a facility like yours.
Sure.
I can't think of any.
Right.
But in terms of welcoming, Christoph, man, I think it's nice to have a place like what you have where people can gather and do things like holiday get-togethers and things like that, which is very nice for your club community.
The Camberwell Petanque Club does a lot of things socially, and Camberwell has that wonderful facility. It means that if the weather's inclement, we'd still have members go along and they will play cards or backgammon. So the social element of the club, it continues, which is a really good thing. Just let me jump back, though, to your membership. I mentioned that the Camberwell Petanque Club's average age, I think, is 73. We have a great deal of difficulty getting youth players or younger players interested or involved in the game. You said your youngest is 10. Is there any effort to try and get youth people in?
Oh, address a really interesting point. That is also very much a challenge with Petanque US. Most of our players are also older, I would say, throughout the country. The reason we have the 2 10, I think one is 11, one is 10, is the children of the players in our club.
Yep.
So they learn the game from their parents. You know, I teach at Sacramento State. I've gone to student groups and try to recruit them.
Yep.
It's very challenging.
Yes.
You know, they would come. I have students who come. I would encourage them to. They would come once or twice, and then they don't come back. They tell me that the game is too slow for them.
Oh, I haven't heard that so much from here, but we've done a very similar thing as we have a number of schools. Their sporting classes will come down to learn the game, or they're just interested in a little bit of the historics behind what petanque is, but they'll play and they really get enthusiastic. And there's always talk about, hey, well, why don't we set up a youth section for you? You guys can all play against each other. You don't have to play with us oldies. And there's a great deal of interest, but then they go away and we never see them again. There are so many other competing sports and competing computers and devices, I think, for the younger kids nowadays. That takes them away. So, yeah, that's a little bit of the situation. Who organised this tour down under, you or Christoph?
Well, you know, Michelle loves to go traveling throughout the world and meet people who play the sport. So the original idea of the travels in the last few years have been built around Michelle's desires to go and meet really petanque players all around the world.
Yep.
Mine as well. Let me be truthful. Mine as well. We are so thrilled to be able to share through the petanque family and community throughout the world. You can go to any country, meet people at petanque clubs, and you're able to share that little piece of culture, which is very different than just coming to a city, going to museums, restaurants, et cetera, et cetera. It's a very different feel. You have an immediate bond when you play petanque. And so the goals in the last few years have been to discover and meet our fellow petanque players throughout the world. And if we have time on the side, which we usually do, we sightsee, we go do the usual things a traveler does in another nation.
How excellent.
It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, and having that focus of meeting petanque people is just wonderful. We've always said the first rule of petanque is to have fun, and the second rule of petanque is to have fun. And you find that by meeting the people as you're travelling the world and meeting people everywhere. On this trip, is it just Australia that you're coming to, or are you off to other places as well?
So we will have visited Sydney first, Melbourne, obviously, and on Thursday we will leave for Christchurch, where we will spend the last week of our trip. And so we look forward to meeting folks there at the club in Christchurch and other clubs if we happen to be able to move around and then meet others.
Yes. Have you had any education in their language yet? New Zealand speak an absolutely different language to what we do in Australia. You're not aware of that?
I see. Yeah, no. Right. Yeah, no. We're aware of it, but the petanque language is the same.
That's right.
So I think we'll be fine.
Just a bit of clue for you. When you are in New Zealand, they shift their vowels one to the left. Once you can get your head around that, you'll be able to understand them. No, look, the New Zealanders they're fantastic, and I believe their petanque is really going well over there. They've got a number of very, very good players and very good clubs. Should enjoy that. I would love to hear back from your experiences once you've done that, so we'll catch up after that. Oh, just one other thing too, with Sactown Petanque. Tell me about the elephant's footprint.
Oh, yeah, that's an interesting question. So, you know, because a lot of our members who co-founded the club with us are Hmong, we wanted symbols that signify unity and also really wanted to celebrate the Hmong culture. The elephant's footprint is very much the iconic symbol in the Hmong culture representing strength and family and unity. And so we thought it was a perfect symbol for the club. And that's how it came about. So we decided to make that our club logo. And we have a friend, actually, Jean-Marie, I should credit her. We were in Amelia playing a tournament. And, you know, she got on the computer. She was very quick. And she's able to add the Sactown petanque words to the logo, gave us different color versions of it. We put on T-shirts. So that's how that logo came about. And you'll see that in a lot of, if you ever go to Hmong events, you'll see that symbol a lot.
Well, that's fantastic. Okay, guys, been great to catch up with you. I would love to come over and visit you and play on your piece.
Well, we will try to be as welcoming as you were, Rex. We thank you for your kindness, your spirit, and your happiness, and enjoyed playing that last game against you. And the door is always open for you guys to come over.
That's a really great offer. Thank you. We'll certainly look at taking that up. By the way, congratulations on both of you winning at the Camberwell Club competition on Saturday.
Thank you.
We learned a lot from your skills and your technique. So thank you very much. Congratulations again. All right, I'll let you guys go. Thanks again. Cheers.
Well, thank you for your interest in talking with us, Rex. We appreciate it.
It was our pleasure, Rex.
Okay, bye.
Just received an invitation to play in a Petanque tournament in the UK. You too may be interested in this particular tournament. It's from Friday 3rd of May to Monday the 6th of May 2024. And it goes like this. British Naturism is delighted to be hosting the British Naturism Naked Petanque Tournament 2024. A full weekend of entertainment of petanque in true Brockenhurst style at their award-winning 50-acre naturist park. They have everything for players, supporters and visitors, so come and join them for a great inclusive bank holiday weekend. For petanque players, they are playing Petanque England rules for doubles. A team of 2 are required with any gender mix. All single players will be matched up, so if you do not have a partner, then don't worry. Matches will be Swiss style, at least 5 games for each team, followed by a tiebreaker if required, and a final. The draw will take place on the Friday evening at 7:30. Everyone is welcome. Players of all abilities are invited to join in to make this a great tournament. Supporters and visitors are welcome to come along and support their team or club. They say there is so much to do over the bank holiday weekend. Friday evening 8 to midnight, open mic night with live music. Saturday evening 8 p.m. to midnight, French theme. Disco, bring your own body paints and accessories. Sunday evening, quiz night and a social evening. Don't forget to make use of the facilities, including large covered heated pool, sauna, miniton, table tennis and beautiful woodland walks. If you're feeling energetic, you may even choose to run around our 5K running circuit through the woods. They also have their communal barbecue available to use. Food and drink. The licensed bar will be open over the weekend, 1 p.m. to 4 p.m. and 8 p.m. to 12 a.m. The Teapot Cafe opens at 9 a.m. serving breakfast, lunch and dinner. In addition to, there is a food van on site 5:30 p.m. to 10:30 p.m. Friday to Sunday. Registration fees. The standard fee is £22.50. British Naturist member fee is £20. Supporters fee is £7.50. And that covers all 3 tournament days. Complimentary tea and coffee available in the marquee. And don't forget to add your day's fee for camping. And the camping fees are pitch with electricity £32 per night, pitch without electricity £27 per night, and a one-person 10-pitch £17.50. The check-in time for camping is 12 noon. The day visit fee is £12 per day per person. Check-in time for day visits is 10 a.m. Love to see you there, all of you. Whilst umpiring at a championship tournament recently, I had to warn a player about a foot fault and asked if he had any comment on that. He said, "What starts with S and ends in T?" I said, "No, it doesn't." So get your orders in for the Oval Boule. Take up an invitation from Michelle and Christoph and book into a competition in Sacramento. And keep your cool while playing hot in the Festival of Fun at Brockenhurst. Look out for the next episode. We could be in Ballarat, Tasmania or Mission Beach. If you have a submission, please contact me at audiorexy@gmail.com. That's audiorexy@gmail.com. Rex out.
You're a good man, Rex. Super Rex. Super Rex.
Good night, Tim.